Hey, what's up, everybody? PK78 coming at you today on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. I'm coming on here. Usually, I'm on here, doing makeup and conversation or a tutorial or whatever, but today it's straight different, like completely different. Everybody knows that my fiance is S Boy 46 Money Team, okay? Everybody knows that me and him relatively believe in the same things as in our beliefs. We both believe Jesus Christ died for our sins so that we can have a chance to go to heaven. Okay. Also, the reason why I'm doing this video is because there was something that I was shown on TikTok, and I did share it on my Facebook because I wasn't shocked, but I guess I guess I was more unaware of how something could be right there in front of your face. And even though people can tell you time and time again, this is what's happening or whatever, like maybe sometimes you just don't want to believe it. Okay, so I say that to say this. On TikTok today, and I'm usually, I'm a TikToker when I'm bored or, waiting for my fiance to come home from work or whatever. If I have time to do it, I'll do it. I do getting ready with me on there. I goof off, But anyhow, I was on there today and I seen something by a person that I'm now following. Something that happened in Brazil. Brazil was holding a parade. It was something like the Day of the Dead, if you can relate to what that is. It's something like the Day of the Dead, but it was more of they were mocking Jesus Christ. They were mocking, basically saying the devil stood over Jesus as if the devil was ever more stronger than Jesus Christ. They were just like, basically they had a big bull. They were idolizing a big red bull, and they had a guy dressed up as Satan, as if Satan really looked like that. They were just like, anyway, I got the video, when they are mocking God, they're mocking the good video. But it's miraculous what happened after this whole shindig, parade, whatever you want to call it, went down, okay? You can't defy God and don't think you will not feel his wrath. Okay? Now, it's not a touchy subject for me to say and to talk about the end of the world. But I feel like if this is something that I talk about overabundantly, I do get panic attacks. I do get anxieties about it. I mean, come on, like, who really wants to think about this? But in reality, maybe you should. Anyways, this video, like, really, it really caught my attention. Like, I mean, I know it's out here. Like, I know there was a guy who opened up the first satanic church. I know Hitler was involved in the Freemason. I know that, Jay-Z throwing up his sign is a symbol of Freemason, and the Freemason symbol and everything all goes back to the satanic ritual. I don't know the correct word for it, but the star and the satanic star to people, like, worship and called summon demons and stuff like that. Okay. We have to really wake up. Everybody who claims or are people of God, we need to band together because this stuff is getting so out of control. I mean, it's sad because they're sitting there saying religion is man-made. Okay, maybe the separation of religion was man-made. But if you, there's information out here, and you being a grown adult can go out there and get the information. You could go out there, you're smart enough, and it's available everywhere to go out there and receive all the information you want to know. I am not one to sit here and say and push what I believe on anybody else. I would love for everybody to be like, she's right, she's right. Yeah, we should believe in God. I would love that. Wholeheartedly, I would love that. I have a big heart. I am so emotional. I love animals. Anybody that knows me, I love animals. I am learning and I'm growing every day. I'm 44 years old. I've been through the most. I'm not saying more than anybody else. I'm not saying anybody else's pain is more or less than mine. But I've been through my fair share of heartaches, of struggles, of trials and tribulations of my life. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying what the next person went through isn't as tragic or even more tragic. I'm saying me. One thing I found out just recently is it was somebody was preaching on, I want to say it was TikTok. A guy was just like, people were always saying, well, why doesn't God answer my prayers? Or, why does God put so much pain into my life? Or what? Okay, so first off, so the best way that I can describe this and put it in how I received it is, okay, so there's like a series kind of out. It's called The Chosen, and it's about how Jesus walked the earth with his disciples, and he was spreading what his Father, which is God, wanted him to spread, okay, and his teachings and his words, okay, and I think it was little John came to him and said, Jesus, why won't you heal me? He said, you have the power to heal, am I not correct? And Jesus was like, I do as my Father wants me to do. And he said, but the question is, do you want to be healed? And he was like, yes, I do. He's like, well, I would want that more than anything. And he's like, that way I could go and spread the word of what you were able to do and what your gift is to do for mankind. And Jesus said something that was mind-blowing to me. He said, and I'm not quoting this, I'm just putting it in words that I can understand. He basically said that God trusts people with pain. Meaning, he said it would be easy and there'd be multitudes and multiple of people who could go out that I heal and could go out and say, this is what he did for me, this is what he did for me, praise God, praise God, praise God. He said, but how many of them could sit there and actually say, I've been through this, this, and this, and I never blamed God, and I still praised God, and I still believed in God, and I still walked with my faith. All the pain that people endure in their lives, they're quick to blame God, and that's not the way. God said he trusts you with the pain. He trusts that you could go through this and not blame him. He trusts that if the pain that you endure is too much, that you call on him. He wants us to call on him. He wants us to want him. He wants us to love him in our own free will. See, people like, well, God could have, yes, God could have exactly made us. He could have made us love him. But you will never know if the love is genuine. Like, you can force people or try to force people to do things. Like, okay, so a rich kid can go out there and buy all of his friends like new stuff and, spoil them with all types of material things, okay? And them people might be like, yeah, he's cool, he's my friend, he's my best friend, blah, 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 blah. But he'll never understand if his friends are really his friends because of who he is instead of what he could do for them. I guess that's the only way that I can really explain what I'm trying to explain. So God gave us free will because he wanted us to be out here. He wanted us to make our own choices. Just as well as when you raise your children, you want to think that you raised them right enough to make good choices. And by all means, nobody's perfect. So even your children are us. Speaking of us, God's children, we make mistakes, but it's okay. And this is the funny part. I love this part. That's why Satan is mad, because he messed up one time and got casted out of heaven. Never got a second chance. We mess up daily. We mess up so much. And we are still forgiven. We get second chances, third chances, fourth chances. We get chance over chance over chance over chance. Not saying you could sin, ask for forgiveness, and go out and do the same sin again. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, he gives us a chance to trip, catch ourselves, get back up, and try not to trip again. He gives us a chance to make mistakes and say, you know what, God, I'm sorry. I repent my sins. And I want forgiven. And just to ask for it doesn't mean nothing. You have to really, in your heart, be like, I'm sorry. Like, you can't just sit there and be like, yeah, God, I want to be forgiven for my sins. But don't mean it. It's not heartfelt. Just like they said, people who believe in Satan worshipers, or people who are not Christ-like. I don't know what to call them. I really don't, because I'm not one of them people. So they say they're marked with the beast, okay? It doesn't have to necessarily mean you're marked with 666, or that you're physically marked with something. It's in you. Understand that. It's in you. So the same way with people of God, okay? You can't just be like, I'm a Christian. I'm Baptist. I'm evangelistic. I'm Pentecostal. I'm, whatever brings you to God. You can't just claim it. You can't just claim it. You have to really mean it. And this isn't my normal thing. Like, I normally do not come on YouTube, and I'm not saying that I don't. Like, I talk about God all the time. Me and my fiance have so many conversations about it. And he's always saying, and he catches himself because he always says, man, these signs of the times they're here, like they're everywhere. And we had a little misunderstanding about that, because like I said, I do get panic attacks, but it's like, I felt like at one point in time he was looking for signs instead of, I mean, we all know, the weather in the Bible, in the trials and tribulations, I'm not trials and tribulations, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry for saying that. In the book of Revelations, it says there's going to be signs of the end of days. One is the weather. We're having like 80-degree weather in wintertime. Like, we barely seen any snow. When I was growing up, there was snow from October, end of October. I mean, it might even snowed on Halloween. From October all the way till sometimes even in April-ish. We barely had any snow. Like, they said the Earth's core is heating up. Okay. Man is heading for its own self-destruction. Okay, so the one sign is the seasons changing. They said, excuse me, they said sooner or later you're not going to be able to tell whether it's winter, summer, spring, or fall. Another sign. Look at the crime. They said there's going to be parents against their children, children against their parents, brothers and sisters against each other, husband and wife against each other, killing each other. The crime is so high right now. It's hard to trust anybody. It's hard to trust people on their emotions and feelings and stuff like that. Like, the the devil's minions are working. His little workers are out here, and they're everywhere. Like, the crime out here is so crazy. Okay, natural disasters. Let's talk about the natural disasters. Hold on one quick second. Okay, so natural disasters. There's earthquakes happening where normally they don't happen. There's floodings happening in a lot of places. People are getting snowed in that don't even get snow. Hurricanes, tornadoes. Tornadoes are ramping through these countries like it's nothing. And it's not just the United States. It's not just us. China, Brazil, um, everywhere. Everywhere there's something happening. We're so, and please, I don't want to get anybody angry when I say this, but accepting transgender, accepting somebody who wants to fix what God already made. Now, sorry, I gotta get comfortable again. I don't judge people. If you are a woman that wants to be with a woman, that's you. If you are a man who wants to be with a man, that's you. I don't judge people's sexuality as far as who they want to be with or who they want to be in love with. That's not for me to judge. I sit back and let God do his job. That's not my job. But when, I think it's called, I forget what it's called, whenever they're trying not to choose whether they're a man or a woman now. Okay. I don't myself, my personal opinion about that is I don't agree with it. I don't judge, but I don't agree with it. That's not for me. If I had a little boy, I would want him to grow up and be a boy. Now, whether he wanted to be gay and sleep with a man or be in love with a man, that would be his choice. Same for my daughter. If she grew up and she decided she wanted to be with another woman, that's her choice. Okay? But to take what God has given you, which was you are a man, and to alter your body. And I guess I'm kind of on the fence about plastic surgery and stuff like that too. I don't really believe in that. I was against my weight loss. I really was. I was against weight loss surgery too. I fought with myself about that because I'm like, am I trying to fix what God already gave me? Or am I trying to fix mistakes that I made within my body? So, I was on the fence about that. I prayed about it. And I do hope that I'm forgiven for that because I don't really believe in altering your body. Tattoos are different. Yes, they're permanent, kinda. But I believe I just found out from Joyce Myers that in the Bible it states that there was people following God that had tattoos that said, "I am a child of God." I don't. I'm talking about altering your body to the point that you are now a different person. Understand that. I'm not saying this is just not for me. This is what I believe. Okay. Just all this acceptance of things that were not accepted before, and this goes so deep and this could branch off into many different categories because interracial dating and marriages was not accepted before. There was there's so many subjects that you could reach on out, but I'm just saying personally, there's like now on commercials, there's never been blacks and whites together, Chinese, Mexicans and whites and blacks together. They're so mixed with the racial stuff on TV, and I'm like, oh, that's great, because before they would never show that stuff, but now it's like they got man on man, woman on woman, transgenders, drag queens, which by the way, I love how they do their makeup, but it's like, are we accepting this because it's everywhere? Because society is accepting it? Like, just because society is accepting it doesn't make it right. And I'm trying to make sense of everything that I'm really trying to put out here because I wasn't going to make a video today. I wasn't. But when I seen that God spoke to me, I was like, oh my, like, they had a whole parade. And wait until you guys see this because please comment on it. I want to know how yous react to it. I don't know. I'm not really like computer savvy. I'm not really video editing. I'm not really good at that, but I will add the video in here and I want you guys to see it. It's horrific. It's like and then I said stop, you have to stop listening to these artists out here that are Jay-Z is the number one person. I'm sorry. And like I said, I don't mean to offend anybody. And if I'm offending you, by all means, you could just move on to another video or something. But I'm going to speak my mind on here because that's what my channel is about. Me just being me. Look, my hair is not done. I just, actually, I just washed it. No makeup. Like, this is me. This is just me being real. I mean, I'm just out here trying to tell people how I feel and to get other people's point of views on it. Now, Jay-Z, he has a picture, and on his shirt it says something that, the Freemasons put out there all the time. And I didn't save that video, but it is on my Facebook. You can go see it on my Facebook page. Maybe I'll go back and download it, and I'll add that to this too. This is going to be a pretty long video, so bear with me, people. I'm going to edit it to where I could just add those clips in here and you just can watch them, and then I'll chime back in and see what you guys think about it. But Jay-Z, like, if you play one of his records backwards, it says something about Satan and 666 or kill Jesus or whatever, 666. Mockery, like, it's mockery. And like, if there's one thing I fear mocking God. I would never seeing his wrath. I'm sorry, but just seeing his wrath of what happened after this parade, the book of Job is real. Like that book of Job where, he let the devil try Job so much because the devil's like, yeah, he will blame you. He will yell out and curse you and everything else, curse you out and everything. And Job was like, no. And Job didn't, I think it was like something like, and I got to go back and read it. Please don't quote me on this. Go back and read the Bible yourself, the book of Job. I think it was like, his wife died, his children died, his cattle was killed. He had like a disease or something with boils all over his body. But when God blessed him, he blessed him 3 times fold. Oh my goodness, his blessings was so much more than what he had lost. And I'm not saying people are replaceable, because they're not. But when God blesses you, oh my goodness, does he bless you? It's just like, and if you know me now and you knew me back then, you'd be like, yeah, she has her nerve talking the way she does. Yes, I messed up in my life. Yes, I did. I did. I was in the streets, not the way some people think I was. I'm not talking about prostitution or drug use or anything like that, but I was out here in these streets. I was playing the games. The streets were sucking me up, but God said, not today, not no more, and not ever. My mother put me in a church when I was younger. I was the one forced to go to church. Like, my mom put a Sunday dress on me and scurried me out the door. Even if she went or she did not go, she put the church in me. And that's what's wrong with people today. They took they took God out of schools. They took God out of certain places like Pledge of Allegiance and stuff like that because it had God in it. Like, get it together. Look what happened to all these schools. Oh my goodness. All these little kids getting shot up in schools and stuff. You took God out of school. Like, I'm not understanding the concept. Like, it takes, it just takes time for you to just, I know people is just not going to like what I got to say, and I really, wholeheartedly, I don't care. Like, if you knew me 2 years ago, I cussed up a storm. I was, I carried hatred in me. I was sad. I was really sad, and I was just all about making money. I was just, people I thought was my friends, they just used me because I had a car or a place to live, or, I'm a very independent woman. I could very well take care of myself. But God closed the doors on all these people. He removed all these people out my life because he heard conversations I didn't hear. He seen things that I couldn't see. And he knew it wasn't for me. He knew they weren't right for me. So when he removed all them people, he put one person in my life that helped me change my life so much. Like, and I'm so thankful for my fiance. I'm thankful for his father, Mr. Sutton. He is such a great man. Like, I love him. Like, I'm so grateful for these men in my life because I would not have, I can't say I wouldn't be a person of God because I always have been. I just lost my way. Like, sometimes there's a fork in the road and you pick the wrong road, but you could still get to the destination, but you gotta go through some things. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think I went through them things because you have to go through the bad to appreciate the good in your life. If you're given everything in life and you never have to earn it or work for it, you're never going to appreciate it. You just throw it away and say, hey, I'll get another one. Don't give me another one. You understand? So I believe I went through what I had to go through so I can appreciate my life. There was a time that I wanted my life to end. There was a time that I gave up on myself, and even when I gave up on myself, God didn't give up on me. This is the type of God I have. This is the type of God I worship. He pulled me out of some real bad situations. I had guns held to my head. I was raped. I was molested. There was so much stuff that I've been through in my life, and my fiance be like, "Don't get on there and tell people all of your personal history." I don't care. I don't care because that's not who I am. And it's funny because I did a TikTok thing that says, you know, talking about me and judging me on my past is like knocking at an old address. I don't live there anymore. I'm not that person no more. When I confessed with my mouth and believed with my heart, mind, body, and soul that Jesus Christ died for my sins, I was baptized. Even after I got baptized, I still fell short. I did. But nobody can take that away from you. Once you're saved, you're saved, and that's the only way you're getting through them gates is being saved. You can't just walk around here with crosses on your neck. You can't just walk around here reading the Bible, go to church, and think that's going to get you to heaven, because it's not. You can believe what you want to believe, but I highly inspire everybody to download, if you have a Google Play app. It's the King James Version of the Bible. It's a little brown. It looks like a little brown Bible, and it says KJV or KJV, King James Version of the Bible. That is the most detailed Bible I think you could get. That's close to the Hebrew language with the thee, thou, they, whatever, how they speak. It gives you 2 readings a day, 2 verses a day. You can highlight certain things in the Bible. It'll read it to you. Anything you don't understand, it explains. My daughter did it, and I praise God because she's getting her walk on. She is getting her walk on with God. Like, she's walking closer with God every day. And no, she's not perfect, but she's a child of God. So is her fiance. We're just, we're blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed. I am so blessed. My testimony is so real because I was, to the point 2 years ago, I was driving recklessly. Boy, I was driving my car and it barely had any brakes, and I didn't care because I didn't care what happened to me. I would cry on the phone to my daughter. My daughter would see me crying and just giving up on myself, and she said, "But Mom, I love you." And she was scared that one day she would wake up and she wouldn't have me. Like, it was deep, people. Like, when I say this, it was deep. When the love of your own child can't save you, but God can. Let me tell you something. When he opened that door, and I had a friend by my side, and now my friend is not just my friend, he's my best friend, and he's my fiance. Like, I will take his name in marriage. Like, we have our little squabbles, we have our little, little arguments, little, like, bickering, I call it, because it's not arguing, it's little bickering. But we've learned that we've grown so much that it's just like, okay, move on. Move on to another subject. If we can't agree on this, we need to move on to another subject. Because let me tell you something. Don't let Dad hear that. Don't let Mr. Sutton hear that. Because, oh my Lord Jesus, he will tell us about ourselves. And don't think just because that's his son, he takes his side. No, he takes God's side. And he tells us what's right for the both of us. And he's not just going to sit there and be like, well, my son this, my son that. No, he's like, what y'all need to do. So, anyways, I'm just trying to put it out here. God is real. You just don't know. Like, I will not stop expressing how real and how many times God showed himself. Jesus showed himself, his works in my life. I had brothers that died suddenly of a massive heart attack. My oldest brother. I just had a brother die right after Thanksgiving of two different types of cancer. I had a sister die of cancer. My mama died of cancer. My dad died of heart disease and diabetes. I had a brother who was no good to me, but I forgave him. So, you know, for the what we had in our lives that we didn't agree on, and the damage that we did to each other, I just, I moved on from that. I forgave him, but he took his life drinking and driving on his birthday. He died. Um, I have a sister in Michigan. I love her so much. God brought us so much tighter. She was an older sister, and I didn't. We didn't get to spend as much time as we wanted to as we were getting older and growing up and stuff. But now we're inseparable. Even though she's in Michigan and I'm here in Pittsburgh. Okay, people, I'm back. I'm sorry, I got cut off. My phone does crazy. See, that's just the devil trying to stop me from saying what I'm trying to say. But she lives in Michigan. I live in Pittsburgh. Distance between us couldn't separate us. It don't even, I still love her to death. I have a brother that lives, I have two brothers out here that live kind of far, and then I have another brother that lives down North Carolina. I love all my siblings. I love all my nieces and nephews. Even the ones that did me dirty. I forgive you, and I love you. But there's some people you have to love from a distance. Understand that. I distant myself from people who are going to bring me back to that place that I left 2 years ago. I won't entertain that. I won't entertain anybody who's questioning my faith. This is me. Why are you in my business questioning me and what I do? If you don't like what I do, kindly and respectfully remove yourself from my presence, because I'm okay with telling the world Jesus Christ is my Savior, that I believe in the Almighty, the Alpha and the Omega. I believe in God. And people are like, well, how do you believe in something you don't see? I just do. I might not see him, but I feel it. And I know there's things out here in this world that I see that are his works, that his... How can you believe in science? Because they can't... There's theories. There's like the Big Bang Theory. But there is something making all of this happen. It's not explanatory. You cannot explain it. There is a higher, and when I say a higher power, I mean God. I don't mean a higher power like whatever scientists are trying to explain. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about God. The beginning and the end. The Alpha and Omega. People were like, well, who made him? That's not for me to know. I don't care. I know what he does for me. I know what he does for my daughter. And even though I had painful things like, yeah, I prayed for my brother to get better, but maybe that's not God's plans for him. Maybe his body was tired. Maybe, his relationship with God is different than mine. Everybody got their own relationship with God. I'm not saying he wasn't right with God because, he was comfortable. And he definitely told us that he made peace. He made peace with the fact that he was dying. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a hard pill to swallow. You know what I mean? We are not promised tomorrow. We're not promised the next minute, the next second, next nothing. I wake up and I try to thank God every day for the blessings that he gives us each and every day. And I'm talking about blessings of waking us up, blessings of protecting our children while they're out here in this world from diseases. I also ask him to protect us from things seen and unseen. There's things that's unseen in this world that's so powerful. I mean, more powerful than us, but not more powerful than God. Understand that. So, be careful for false prophecies. Don't believe everything you see. Like, TikTok has some things where, they're saying that they seen God, and they're saying that they seen Jesus walking on the cloud. Know this. When Jesus comes back, he's not touching this earth. We're so filled with sin. When he died on the cross, he asked God, why hast thou forsaken me? He said it wasn't, God didn't forsake him. He took on our sins. He was filled with sin. And he had to die. Them sins had to be died. Them sins had to be washed away with death. Understand that. Before he could be accepted and be pure with God. I know it's a little more to take in, but so therefore, he will not ever touch this earth again. Oh, but we'll see him. And when he comes, the whole world is going to see him. It's not just China. It's not just Russia. It's not just Africa. It's not just the United States. It's not just North America, South America, whatever. It's not just Canada. The whole world will see him. I was watching The Chosen, and I always tell my fiance, like, wow, what would it have been like to walk with Jesus? People are like, yo, I just seen such and such in concert. That's just another human. He can't do nothing for you but maybe pay some bills or give you some money. But what Jesus did for people, he healed the sick. He healed a man that couldn't walk, that was paralyzed. When everybody was believing in this water that was healing people, and this man couldn't get to the water in time. I mean, he waited years to be healed. I mean, years. But when Jesus healed him, and he was to go and spread the word of the Messiah, oh my. And the woman who just touched his cloth and was healed. Whew, this is deep. I'm telling you, go watch The Chosen. There's an app called The Chosen. Go watch it. I tell you guys, it'll change your perspectives on life. And there's going to be naysayers. There's going to be people going against what you got to say. And I'm okay with that. I am. I don't judge you. I'll pray for you, but I won't judge you. Not coming on here saying that I'm perfect, because I'm far from it. But you'll know the changes in my life. If you see who I was and who I am today, I've grown. Spiritually, physically, mentally, I've grown. It's not going to stop. It only goes up from here. I don't believe in ghost hunting. I mean, I watch it on TV to see these people go out here and think that they know what they're talking about. I watch it. I believe in demonic spirits that are trying to shapeshift and make us believe that there's something that they're not. And just recently, I was corrected about, our family members coming back to see us, the energy that they have, come back to check on us. I believe maybe God does give them the power to do that. I know there's angels. Oh, Lord knows I know there's angels. But just beware of false prophecies. Just beware of people trying to trick you into believing. You'll know when it happens. Like, there's information out there and it's everywhere. And my fiance is going to be so shocked when he hears this, because I don't do videos like this. But it was nagging at me. Like, it was just something that I felt like I have to get out there. And like I said, you could believe me, you could choose not to believe me. But my fellow followers who believe in Jesus Christ, they going to be like, yep, she's right. And like I said, not everybody that walks with God or, walks with faith will believe the same thing. And that's great. But I pray for you guys. I pray for the weak. I pray for the sick, the elderly, babies. I pray for everybody. I really do. I try to pray for as many people, and I tell them I pray for the world. I wish this world could just straighten up. You know how you get that one kid that you know has good in them, but they still keep messing up and keep messing up, and you just want to grab them and be like, get your stuff together. That's what I'm hoping this world could do. But I think like we did so much damage of destruction that, man, you signed our death certificate for real. You did. Like, it was pre-written, it was foreseen, it was foretold, and now it is coming to pass. Like, there's a war coming, and the war isn't between soldiers, like armies, and it's gonna be a war against God and Satan, and I'm gonna be on the winning team. I'm sorry to tell you that. There's going to be a war to where people's going to get killed for believing in God. But guess what? I'd rather stand for something than fall for anything. I know what my mom embedded in me. I'm going to walk with that. And I'm going to respect my mom's wishes. And I know why she taught me what she taught me. I love her to death. I miss her all the time. I miss all my family members, you know, but we're not meant to stay here. This is a bus stop. We're just waiting to go on to our other destination. Some of us will perish and never be thought of again. Sorry. And I feel for everybody. I'm telling you, I got a big heart. If you know me, you know I got a big heart. But anyways, I'm going to cut this short. I'm going to let you watch this video. I want to hear what she's got to say. I'm going to edit it real quick because I'm about to cook dinner for me and my baby. Excuse me. But definitely get at me. Let me know what you think about this video I'm about to post. And comment below. Like, follow, share. This is crazy. This is crazy. What y'all's about to see is crazy. But shout out to my fiance, SBoy46 Money Team. Love you, baby. My daughter, Beauty Babes 9735, I think it is. I'll tag her below. You can follow her page. She's got makeup tutorials. She also does the Doorables. We have Doorables. We're about to make a video about Doorables in the next day or so. Go to our TikTok channels. Watch our videos there. SBoy46 Money Team. Very educational, very spiritual. You know, he has a lot of videos on his page too. Shout out to my two stepsons. Love them guys. They're good peoples. You know. Also, my sister in Michigan. I love you, sissy. I miss you. Mwah. Broski, I know you're watching this with her, so I love you too. Be good. And you know, I'm praying for everybody. I hope you have a blessed rest of the day. Blessed week. Be safe out here, because this world, it's going. Like, there's some crazy people talking about the clouds or aliens. Talking about bees or drones. Some of these birds out here are drones. And I get it. But I'm not going to get into all that government stuff. But stand for something or fall for anything. Let me know what you think about this video. Till the next video. Stay blessed.